I was going to say, in these issues, at least for climate and energy, there are underlying scientific and techno-economic realities. And you cannot violate them without running into big trouble. And Germany is a wonderful example where they just ignored the techno-economic realities. The same is true of the climate story, where some combination of some of the scientists, the media, the politicians, and the NGOs have quite unreasonably hyped the alleged climate threat. Both climate and energy are complicated, nuanced subjects. They can't be distilled down into sound bites. What we do involves trade-offs, and the politicians will not let the public be informed enough about those trade-offs to make a decision.
Yeah, well, some of that's a problem. It really is, in part, a problem of complexity, right? I mean, because you can imagine that there's an attraction to relatively simple hypotheses. And maybe that's a good one. That's Occam's razor in some sense, although you don't want your explanations to be any simpler than they need to be. And so we have, well, it's reasonable to be concerned about the environment. Part of the environment is climate. Part of climate is carbon dioxide. Maybe we should just focus on carbon dioxide, and then we're doing the right thing. And that's where people get led down the garden path, because you don't get to be a planetary savior by jumping up and down and saying carbon dioxide is bad. Like that's too oversimplified, and the politicians capitalize on that.
Right. So let me give you one simpler response to that, which I found to be pretty effective. And I would credit Alex Epstein for the general thought, right, on whom I know you've spoken with. There are 1.5 billion of us in the developed world, US, Canada, EU, Japan, and so on. And we enjoy abundant energy. It's a little more expensive at the moment because of market issues, but by and large, we've got a great deal of energy, and it lets us live the kind of lives we live. There are 6.5 billion people on the planet who don't have that energy. And as they develop, as they improve their lives, their energy demand is going to grow. And the only way, not the only way, but the most effective way to let them have that energy is by fossil fuels. Electricity, gas, coal, transportation, oil. And I think Alex very effectively argues that it is immoral to deny them the opportunity to develop with adequate energy.
Yeah, well, we can.
I've not heard of an adequate response.
I would push that past unethical into the realm of murderous. I think it's absolutely unforgivable for the West to ever say anything about whether or not the developing countries, and that would include China and India, have any right to start moving away from wood and dung, which also kill many, many people while they're burning, toward coal and natural gas and nuclear. And
I've not heard any leader address that issue directly. Well, I'd love to ask John Kerry or your leader Trudeau or the people in the EU, where is your morality about these 6.5 billion people?
Well,
there is no good answer.
This is the argument as far as I can understand it. And I've been trying to follow along, let's say on the psychological front, trying to piece this together.